We're going to actually give you one major shift, one major belief that you can adopt today, that you can put into play right now, that's going to help you, move forward without so much resistance. Because let's be real, we all want our relationship to move forward. A lot of people want their relationships to be in a different place than where it's at right now. But in order for us to do that, we got to address what's going on in the mind. And we're going to give you one shift that you can actually adopt. This is the thing people miss about marriage. Marriage is a personal development journey. It's a personal development journey. What does that mean? You're developing your person. So like, for example, if you go, most of you have jobs. If you have a job where they require you to do some personal development workshops or career development trainings or things of that nature, it's to grow you and sharpen you in those particular areas and whatever you do. And so the truth about marriage is your relationship, it should be developing you. It should be changing you. It should be showing you things about yourself that need a little bit of extra work, that need to be sharpened, that needs to be changed. Like I remember, some time ago, I didn't realize how cold I was.
He was cold. That bro was cold. I'm just
I really did not realize that. And it took me years to realize I'm a cold person. Like I was really this cold wife. And he's totally the opposite, like this warm, affectionate, like, he wants to hug and get close. And I'm
just
like,
stop. She telling her to just stop.
and I'm just like, and I'm like, wait, is this a problem? And so it took me some time to realize, like, okay, there's stuff that like, girl, you got to chip away from some of this stuff because it's not affectionate, it's not close, it's not warm, and it's not inviting. It's not, who's gonna want that? And so that's the thing about the relationship, is that it's going to show you things about yourself that, man, I do need to work on that. Man, I do need to sharpen in this area. And so some people, right? And this is why we talk, this is also why we say, like, not getting stuck in the past.
Mhm.
Because people, this is what most people want to do. When they go to get marriage help, they want to focus on the past. They want to focus on, I want to fix the past. And we're like, how long ago did this happen? And they're like 5, 10 years ago. And we're like, okay, wait.
Or even 2 months ago.
Or even 2 months ago. Do we want to go back there? It does not matter how hard you bang on that door. You can't go back to 2 months ago. You can't go back to 10 years ago. And so here's the truth of the matter, right? The future of your marriage is not dependent on what happened in the past. It's dependent on the person you are right now. It's dependent on the person you are becoming right now. It's not dependent on what happened in the past. The future of your marriage, type future in the comments. The future of your marriage is not dependent on what happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 2 months ago. The future of your marriage is dependent on who you are right now, who you are becoming right now.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. And for a time when we was going through hard, I call it the seasoning time, right? We was going through a season of seasoning the arguments, all the type of thing that was going on. Me knocking down a bathroom door, just the anger or rage that would come, when we was having these disagreements during the seasoning time. It made me more self-aware, like, bro, you got to control yourself. Bro, you can't step out of character because you don't like the way things go in your relationship. You don't like the way she's behaving, or you feeding into what she's doing. You gotta self-reflect. You gotta do the work. But see, the thing is, most people won't allow themselves to see themselves in their relationship unless it's positive. I'm gonna say it again. Most people won't allow themselves to see themselves, their faults in their relationships, unless it's something positive. That's why people get into, well, I did this, I do this, and I do that, and my spouse is my spouse that. Oh, if I didn't grow and self-reflect, like, you gotta calm down on your temper. You gotta be able to have poise, calm yourself down, don't entertain these things. If I didn't do that, we wouldn't be here today. If she continued to be cold, we wouldn't be here today. But because we had this opportunity,
Perfect.
and it's an opportunity.
That's such a perfect word.
It's not, we take things for granted.
Yeah.
Our marriage shows us things that we got to see as an opportunity. So if we didn't have the opportunity to self-reflect and see these things, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't know what we know. But we came up out of that because we saw, we implemented, we made changes. And now we're able to coach, teach, and and counsel people, help people in the direction that they need to go in their relationship if they want to.
Yeah.
And truth is, people say, yeah, I want a great relationship, I want a great relationship, but it starts with you. Yeah, your spouse is part of it, but it starts with you. Like if you take responsibility and give 100% of yourself in your relationship, and in every relationship, it's going to bring forth good fruit and it's going to be a great relationship. But you can't give 100% 10% of the time, 50% of the time.
Right.
You got to give 100% of the time. And that's where some of us are lacking growth at.
Yeah. That's one of the things that we talked about in one of our last wives only group coaching sessions, was how literally the key to this is consistency. Like your spouse needs to see a consistent person. They need to see a consistent person. They need to see the same person showing up, the same person taking intention, the same person trying, putting effort in all of these things. Why? Because when that part gets weak, and here's the thing, y'all, if you don't want a transactional relationship, be consistent. Because the only default to not showing up consistently is just a transactional relationship. Well, I'll do this for you and I'll keep doing this for you as long as you keep doing that for me. But as soon as you stop doing that for me, I'm going to stop doing this for you. Now it's transactional. Now it's, I'm doing this for you, you're doing this for me. But as soon as that stops, everything else stops. Right? And so sometimes that's also a way that some people just are in life. They're just not the same person all the time. And so there goes a mirror again. That's one of the things that we talk about so much. Where are the mirrors in your relationship? Like what is pointing you to yourself? Again, the future of your relationship is dependent on who you are becoming. It's dependent on who you're becoming. It's not dependent on the past. It's dependent. What's going on right now? What is your mirror showing you right now? What is the mirror showing you right now? As uncomfortable as it is, y'all, because it's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable.
It's not. It's not comfortable, but you expect your marriage to bloom and blossom and to continue that lifelong journey in marriage. You're gonna have to get uncomfortable. Yeah. And that uncomfortable is sometimes, looking at your face. Looking at your face, seeing exactly what's going on. And it's like this. Your marriage is going to show you something. Like if like me right now, I can't see my face. It could be something I can have food all on my face, but I can't see my face right now unless I go to a mirror. Then I can see my face, clean myself off. My wife can look at me right now and say, babe, boo, you got some food right here, you got something on your face, and she can help me. But a lot of us, we don't want that. We don't want our spouse to say our flaws. We don't want our spouse to say, hey, you can do a little bit better in this area. We don't want to look in the mirror ourselves and see if we can do better. But we want to continue looking at our spouse like our spouse is the problem. And I'm going to be real with you. Yes, your spouse is the problem, but you're the problem too. Yes, she was the problem, but I was the problem too. Yeah. And still to this day, I'm still part of the problem. She's still part of the problem. But at the same time, we come together with growth, personal growth, and saying, how can we fix the problems and issues that we have, growing individually and growing together and becoming one constantly as a couple. But you know what, too? You have to have the type of relationship where you can admit that you have growth to do. Because that's the thing about it, is there's so many people are married and they can't let their spouse see their flaws. They can't let their spouse see when they made a mistake. They can't let their spouse, and this is just the norm. That's just the norm. I can't show you who I really am. I can't show you my mistakes. I can't show you when I mess up. Speaking from experience, y'all, that was us.
That was us for a long time, and it's not a comfortable place to be. You want to have a relationship where I could tell you where I messed up and know that you are you're my safe space. You got to know that. And how do you do that? That's something that's cultivated. That's not something that happens as soon as oh, we're 5 years. We're 5 years in. We should have that by now. There's no should have that by now. That's something that has to be cultivated. We're 10 years married. We should have that by now. That's something that's cultivated. It doesn't matter how long you've been married. You could have been married 12 years. You could have been married 20 years and not have a relationship where you can be your complete self and peel all the layers off and let your spouse really see what's going on and who you are.
And when you speak of, cultivate, it makes you think about a garden. You plant a seed, that you plant a seed, it takes time. You got to water that seed. You got to put it in the right soil, the right environment. You got to, you got to protect it. You got to continue to water it. Once it comes up, you got to continue to water it. Make sure it gets the proper light, the proper environment. Continue watering it. And when it grows, if it's a tree, when it grows, you got to, prune it, continuously working it and cultivating it. So that's what a relationship is. You gotta continue, cultivating that relationship. But cultivating is continue to work the relationship, continue to make sure you have the right environment, continue the growth, continue to give it the light, even if that's you being the light of the marriage for a particular season. You got to continue to prune it. The pruning is the hard part where we see these difficult things that we need to work on, areas of growth, that if I get rid of my attitude, the way I'm reacting to you, that's going to allow us to have better disagreements. Because you're going to see it, hold on, he's not reacting to me no more. So let me prune something on myself. Now we both come come together at the table. We have a disagreement or we have a difference of opinion. It's not all blown up spiral into chaos like it used to be. And some of y'all can relate to that. If you can relate to that, put relate in the chat. Put relate in the chat. So so cultivating, it's about cultivating, it's about personal development. That's why we call our relationship, that's why we call our program Cultivate Your Perfect Relationship Marriage Program. Because it's about cultivating your perfect. And you may say, well, nothing's perfect. There's no perfect. Yes, it is. Christ said, be thou perfect as our Father in heaven is perfect. So you can be perfect. What does that mean? Complete. You can have a complete marriage where you're constantly working, growing, nurturing that environment. That's what we call our program, the Cultivate Your Perfect Relationship Marriage Program. Because it's about growth individually, personal growth individually, and growth together as one.